Bitcoin is on the road to $100,000 while at the same time crossing over yet another major network milestone. More regulatory clarity is building more confidence in the crypto industry, and big things are happening over in Ethereum land. Now, the price of Bitcoin has been quite choppy recently, which to be honest is actually really good for the savvy traders out there. And I know that some of you guys have been doing really well over on Bybit, so congratulations to those of you who have been playing the markets well. Now, if you want to be able to long Bitcoin too, then go ahead and check out Bybit. You can get a $10 free sign-up bonus in Bitcoin and a further $50 in free Bitcoin after depositing 0.2 Bitcoin. Now guys, this is a margin trading platform, which means that yes, it is possible to make gigantic profits, but there is also a very high risk factor involved. This is for experienced traders only. So, most commentators and chartists at the moment are very bullish on Bitcoin. Obviously in the long term too, but even in the short term they are. And of course, look, Bitcoin price predictions, they're running wild like they always do. But there's one that I actually wanted to look at with you today, and that's one that Anthony Pompliano put out. He says that he is 75% confident that Bitcoin will reach $100,000 by the end of 2021. Very important rule for you guys. When making predictions, always leave a margin of error and a generous timeline. It's key, guys. No, but actually, I think that he's pretty spot on with his analysis here. And his prediction's actually not something crazy or totally new. It's basically saying that the logarithmic chart is going to play out exactly as it has been historically, and that the trend for Bitcoin will continue into the future. Now look, guys, I know, everyone is throwing out seemingly wild price predictions these days. But when you take a look at the charts, when you realize that actually $100,000 isn't even such a wild price prediction at this point, but it's actually a relatively sane prediction based on the data that we have in our hands currently. It does make you wonder, though, why more people are not simply stocking up big time on Bitcoin at these price levels, or that they weren't a few months ago. And yes, savvy investors just like you are here stacking sats today. But the real thing to keep an eye on is the actual volume that we are seeing now, which has been very, very high. And I'm not talking about the fake volume that we see over on the wash trade exchanges. I am talking about the exchanges that have been proven by companies like Chainalysis or the TIE to show real spot price volume. And all of these exchanges, they have been booming over the last few months. And of course, we also have to consider in the futures markets, both the regulated and the unregulated varieties, which have also been booming big time. While we do have increased retail interest in cryptocurrencies, we do not yet have retail mania or retail hysteria happening, which to be honest is really good for those long-term crypto stackers. But what we do have right now is big money players making discrete buys. 500 Bitcoin here, 1,000 Bitcoin here. Some of that obviously is hitting exchanges, and some of it is happening even more discreetly at OTC desks. And yes, the OTC desks have confirmed that they have been seeing huge volumes as well. Now back to Pompliano for a second, because he has said that 50% of his assets are in Bitcoin currently. Now this is a super important factor, because watch if people actually put their money where their mouths are. All of those famous Bitcoin haters out there, all those guys refuse to actually short Bitcoin, which if their convictions were so strong, they would go out and do it. No, sadly, the most prolific haters make their money by, cruising the conference circuit, getting paid big bucks to go and stand up there and talk trash on Bitcoin and simply be contrarian. Or they simply have vested interests in the competitors, whether it be gold or banks or whatever it might be. They're a bunch of clowns. Which, all of this just reaffirms to me, do not pay so much attention to the day-to-day price drama, guys. nor to the media scare tactics or any of that stuff. Think long term. Watch what the big money players are actually thinking and actually doing. Literally, watch where the millionaires, the hedge funds, the family offices, and other big players are literally putting their money. What are they buying? You see, Pompliano's opinion matters because he is the co-founder of Morgan Creek, which is an investment firm focusing on investment management services to institutions and to wealthy families. They know damn well what the big money players are doing because those big money players are their clients. And look, if it were just Morgan Creek, then you could say, okay, Lark, bit skeptical here, but you know. But when you start to realize that this is what is being reported across the board, this is Fidelity, this is the Intercontinental Exchange, all these players, it makes you take a pause because you don't have to have millions of dollars to benefit from paying attention to the trends of what the big money players are doing. And right now the trend is that Bitcoin is very hot in those circles. And as we continue to get more regulatory clarity and the halving event approaches, it's only going to get hotter, which makes $100,000 almost seem like an easy target at this rate. Okay, moving on, guys. Bitcoin has reached another huge security milestone. In fact, Bitcoin has never been more secure than it is today right now. 74.5 quintillion hashes per second now secure the network, and that is totally crazy, guys. That means that Bitcoin is not just secure, it's like ridiculously secure, guys. And now to give you a bit of perspective on that as well, when Bitcoin was $20,000, it was only around 12 quintillion hashes per second in terms of security. So now Bitcoin is more than 5 times more secure than it was back when the price was twice of what it currently is. Just stop to let that sink in there for a moment, guys. That's big. That's crazy. And this number is only set to grow with more and more companies announcing all the time that they are getting into Bitcoin mining or that they are increasing the size of their mining farms. Like we have recently Northern Bitcoin, it's a German company. They're buying 5,000 more miners for their mine. And that is one of many stories. Now, we've also had some great-ish kind of news out of the US, and that is that the IRS is going to be updating tax guidance on Bitcoin. Yeah! Kind of. I mean, hey, look, taxation is theft, guys, but as long as the thieves control the levers of power over inflicting violence or detention on you, it seems that it remains an unavoidable theft at this point. And actually one of the big things which continue to spook a lot of institutional buyers and also probably even to a greater degree the average Joe retail investor has been the implications of Bitcoin investing on your tax obligations. The new push for the IRS to do something about this lack of clarity has come from members of the US Congress who fear that the USA is falling behind other nations when it comes to the crypto industry. Yes, they are. And while some states, of course, have done very well to pave their own paths, the general movement in the USA has, to be honest, been a very murky and unclear and ununified one. Many crypto companies in the USA have actually said that a lack of regulatory clarity is stifling innovation right now. Look, there are many big issues which need to be resolved at a regulatory level to make the industry boom in the US. Questions like, exempting non-financial businesses from money transmitter laws when using blockchain, as an example. But a massive one, of course, is how do you actually tax cryptocurrencies? And it does seem that more and more countries are trying to get in on the party in terms of regulatory clarity by providing clear rules for crypto companies within their jurisdictions. Cyprus, for example, has just announced that a crypto bill will be ready by the end of the year. Now, that actually serves as a follow-up for Cyprus from last year's announcement of the Med 7, which Cyprus is a founding member of that group. Now, this group is basically focused on trying to promote digital ledger technology across the Mediterranean region. And that brings us on to Ethereum. And oh man, are big things happening in Ethereum land. Now, one of the biggest announcements this week, and I think recently for Ethereum, has been that Ethereum might be reduced in issuance by 10x in 2 years. So dropping the block reward from 2 Ethereum to 0.2 Ethereum. That's crazy, guys. Now, if you thought that the Bitcoin block halving was exciting, then just imagine what a 10x reduction is going to do to Ethereum in the long term. Also, the CME group is set to alter its reference rate for Ethereum, which has led some people to speculate that it could mean that the exchange is getting ready to launch Ethereum futures. The addition of non-Bitcoin derivative products is, in my opinion, completely inevitable. The question is only when. I'd be surprised, though, to see Ethereum futures actually launch before Ethereum 2.0 happens, but then again, I bet the CME does like making money, and that would make a lot of money, so why not? I would expect, though, that we'll start seeing multiple non-Bitcoin futures announced, at least announcing that the process is starting and they're getting regulatory approval over the next year or so. Also, Ethereum, it seems, is slowly welcoming Tether over to its blockchain as Tether moves away from Omni. Currently, 40% of Tether exists on Ethereum. And major cryptocurrency exchanges like Binance and Poloniex have announced that they are both moving their Tether addresses from Omni to Ethereum. Now look, guys, I will never be happy about Tether. There have been far too many lies for me to ever trust Tether, especially when there are multiple alternatives which are, for 100 different reasons, superior to Tether. But this move does mean that Ethereum is getting even more set to become the decentralized finance powerhouse of the entire crypto world. Because even if I don't like Tether and all of their shady BS, it is pretty hard to deny that the market dominance of Tether remains and that the impact of Tether on the crypto markets is a big one. Anyway, guys, just some updates for you. Let me know what you think about any of today's stories down below in the comment section. As always, you guys are super freaking awesome. So thank you so much for watching today's episode. I really appreciate the time. Take out your day to come over here and check out these videos. Now, if you are new around here, click on that subscribe button down below, guys. Make sure to click the bell as well so you know when I put out a new video. Long live the blockchain. And peace out till next time, guys.